I'm Natalia Bilbao. Here's what's happening in LA this week. Winter has settled in on the Southland. Yes, we are mostly enjoying sunny skies and 70-degree weather, but we are also getting our seasonal share of cold and rain. This colder weather strongly impacts our homeless population. Enter Council Member Paul Krikorian. He and organizers in Council District 2 have introduced brand new interim shelters for the unhoused community in North Hollywood. Take a look.
We are standing in the first tiny home village interim housing program in Los Angeles. This program came to be, this was an empty, blighted piece of land that really wasn't serving any particular purpose, and Councilman Paul Krikorian took a look at it and decided that it was time to do something purposeful with this piece of land.
Well, like every other part of the city, my district has been beset by increasing homelessness. It's become the crisis of our lifetimes. But I've been determined that we are going to find shelter space for every single person in my district who's currently living under a bridge or in a park or on a sidewalk.
Este tipo de vivienda es tan importante. Tenemos demasiada gente con necesidad sufriendo y viviendo en las calles.
Starting today, this facility is going to start breaking the cycle of homelessness for people who are currently unhoused here in the East San Fernando Valley. It is a life-changing, game-changing step that we're taking by opening this cabin community.
Cada casita tiene 2 camas, tiene aire acondicionado, calefacción, tiene un detector de humo, tiene electricidad, tiene todo lo que realmente necesitan para vivir cómodamente dentro.
One of the highlights for me is celebrating people's success. And on a weekly basis, we have multiple people that are moving from interim housing into permanent housing. And for us, that really is the goal line. That's what we're striving for. All of this is good, but it's still interim, temporary, transitional housing. We want to get people back into permanent, affordable housing.
It's easy to understand that anybody who's living on the street, even for a short amount of time, can give up hope. And we hope that by seeing something like this, by hearing from people who come into a shelter like this and get services, that will uplift people who don't have services yet to try to reach out and get them. Because there is hope, and you can change your life, and we're here to give people the hand up. Not the hand out necessarily, the hand up, to lift people up to build a better life for themselves.
Los Angeles is gearing up for African American Heritage Month, and like previous years, Commissioner Mike Davis from the Los Angeles Board of Public Works is heading up the charge. He zoomed by to tell us all about the celebration they have in store for 2021.
African American Heritage Month started in the early 1900s by Dr. Carter G. Woodson, who happened to be the first African American to obtain a PhD degree in history from Harvard University. And of course, his goal was to put together a project that would help to increase the awareness about the contributions of African Americans to the United States. The city of Los Angeles started the celebration during the 1940s. Since Mayor Garcetti has been here in 2013, I was blessed to have the opportunity to come, and we have been under his administration implementing African American Heritage Month. How have we been able to do it in this COVID-19 challenge? Well, like most social groups who are doing special events, we are doing ours virtually this year. Our highlight is our opening ceremonies, which will be February 5th at 10 a.m.
We've been meeting here so long.
We are honoring this year living legends, the Manhattans, a rhythm and blues group. We are honoring in government Congresswoman Maxine Waters, who started her career in Los Angeles City Hall. She was the first woman to be chief of staff. in Los Angeles City Hall. But equally important today, she has been responsible for making sure that the COVID relief dollars have gotten back to Los Angeles. Additionally, we have Dr. Kizzmekia Corbett, who is a viral immunologist and is responsible for establishing the drug Moderna, which is one of the vaccines to help eradicate the COVID virus. So these are the people that we will honor, and we look forward to a festive celebration in the city of Los Angeles. This year, we hope that those of you who wish to participate, that you will contact our city by going on the website at dpw.lacity.org, where there will be a schedule of various events, all of which will be virtual. And happy African American Heritage Month celebration in the month of February.
The city's African American Heritage Month celebration isn't the only annual event shifting to virtual. Later in the program, we will check in and see what the Library Foundation of Los Angeles has in store this year. During this pandemic, we are surrounded by reminders of how to keep safe and healthy until the worst passes. But as we see progress with the vaccines, it is also good to have reminders of the sustainability measures Los Angeles has adopted. We visited Robert Potter from LA Sanitation and Environment to get a refresher on recycling and disposing of rubbish responsibly. Check this out.
What I have in front of me here is a standard allotment of bins that would be provided to our residential customers, a blue, green, and black bin. Well, each bin is used for a different function, and it collects a different kind of material. The blue bin is for recycling, the green bin is for yard waste, and the black bin is for trash. The goal is to reuse and reduce, and LA San is a leader in the environmental field, and so we separate our materials so that they can have a second use. I would encourage Angelinos to ensure that they're following the rules and the guidelines for each of the bins, because the blue bin, if you're recycling, the only thing that should be in that bin is recycled materials. Putting the wrong materials in there potentially contaminates the good materials, right? So if you have cardboard and you didn't properly empty the bottle of all the liquids in it, that cardboard gets wet, it loses value, and it's not as recyclable and marketable. Our black barrels should have the least amount of materials. That is our hope. It's the last resort. After you've done a great job of recycling and capturing your green waste, and there's just things that don't go in these two bins, then that's the residual, that's the small amount. If a resident's can is damaged for any reason, they should report it to the 311 or LA San system, and we will replace or repair that bin the day following trash collection. So if you have a Monday collection for your trash, our crews from the warehouse here will be there on Tuesday to repair or replace your bin.
In this latest edition of Angelinos Give Back, 2 districts distribute much-needed produce and groceries to families in their communities. First, Team Zedillo and the National Health Foundation brave the rain in Council District 1. Next, volunteers from St. Genevieve Parish Schools answer a call from Council President Nuri Martinez to come out and support residents in Council District 6. Take a look.
Today we're out in the Pico Union area, partnered with the National Health Foundation, handing out over 700 boxes of produce, which consists of a 3 to 4 day food supply for families. Es el LA Regional Food Bank y la agencia de National Health Foundation, que en colaboración con nuestra oficina hemos estado trabajando en hacer eventos así.
People are so grateful, and we are just happy here to do it and connect people to what they need right now, which is food.
It's helping us a lot because my mom just was in a car accident and we kind of lost our job, so right now it's really tough.
No, que esto sí es un gran apoyo para muchas familias y como pueden ver pasan los vehículos y nos dan las gracias y nos dicen que muchas gracias por hacer eventos como estos.
The LAPD's involvement here at the event at Toberman Park is we're here to help connect people with resources. Throughout this pandemic, people have had a hard time. People are losing jobs, people have lost wages. Sometimes feeding families has become a difficult thing to do. So we're here to connect people with resources to make sure that everyone's well-being is looked after.
Estamos muy orgullosos de poder trabajar con el Distrito 1, con la oficina de Gil Cedillo y poder dar este gesto para nuestra comunidad.
Pues nosotros estamos tratando de ayudar a nuestra comunidad aquí dando comida.
This is quite the operation out here today with so many volunteers, and it's really nice to see people to come out in the community to really help out during this time of COVID. We just want everyone to stay safe and healthy.
Pues mandamos mensajes a todos nuestros de la iglesia, de toda nuestra comunidad, para que sepan que aquí St. Genevieve High School, que estamos atrás de ellos apoyándolos.
We're very excited to help out in the community, and this looks like it's going to be a really terrific event. I know they're expecting about 1,000 people or more, so we're just very happy to open up our campus and help out in the community.
We're not working right now because of COVID, so it's helpful to get food in the refrigerator.
It really helps because, you know, we're low on work. The job that I have, the company I have doesn't, you know, we're not in business that much.
We're very grateful for it. Very grateful.
LA's sanitation and environment gets national recognition for biodiversity. A new website helps users schedule a vaccination appointment. And Council President Nuri Martinez delivers her African American Heritage Month message. These stories and more up next on City Beat.
LA's sanitation and environment has been recognized nationally for their biodiversity work. The Gold Star accolade comes from the National Wildlife Federation for the city's pioneering efforts to become more healthy, renewable, and wildlife friendly. Los Angeles is encouraging residents to apply for their own certification with NWF by gardening with wildlife in mind, opting for native plants, planting trees, and using sustainable practices. Wildlife gardens across the city will create high-quality pockets of habitats that can help achieve the goals of LA's Green New Deal. California has launched My Turn, a pilot website that allows eligible users to schedule a vaccination appointment. If you're not currently eligible, you can sign up for notification when it is your turn for the vaccine. The website offers information in multiple languages and will ask for your zip code to assist with finding the closest vaccination center. Though My Turn is only serviceable for LA and San Diego counties, it is set to open statewide this month. To find out more, go to myturn.ca.gov.
Hello, I'm Los Angeles City Council President Nuri Martinez, and on behalf of the Los Angeles City Council, I'm happy to be part of the celebration of African American Heritage Month in our great city.
Thanks in part to the civil rights movement in the 1960s, every February we have the privilege to celebrate African American Heritage Month in Los Angeles. Council President Nuri Martinez, the first Latina to hold the position, recognized the tremendous contributions of African Americans past, present, and future, with a special nod to inaugural poet Amanda Gorman.
I am reminded of our nation's youngest poet laureate and LA's own Amanda Gorman, who inspired the nation with her poem, The Hill We Climb, at the Biden-Harris inauguration. As Ms. Gorman spoke on the Capitol steps, she gave hope to a nation that has been struggling to find itself. We are poised to turn that hope into action, and I join you all in that commitment as we celebrate a very meaningful African American History Month. Thank you.
The Los Feliz Flea Market at John Marshall High School has been a staple of Saturday morning artisan shopping for decades. So after months of pandemic prohibition, the tents have finally returned for the CD4 neighborhood event.
We are at Los Feliz Flea to promote all of us small businesses and local artisans and creatives in LA.
We're very in touch with what's going on with the pandemic. We didn't race to come back and open up. When the city said that flea markets could open up, we purposely waited about a month before we came and restarted it. Because our priority is, the health and well-being of everybody, from our vendors to the people coming in here. We wanted to make sure we could do that properly and not just open just for the sake of opening.
This particular market is amazing because they're so spread out and CDC guideline regulated. The coordinators make sure everyone's masked, adhering to every rule. So I feel safer here than to be even at a grocery store.
It's very important. It puts food on the table for a lot of these people here. And it's very, very important for the community just to come by,
This is the only thing you can do in LA right now, recreation-wise, and to support small businesses. So it's a win-win, to be outside is truly the only thing Los Angeles people can do at this moment.
We're trying to just get people to come down here, realize it's a safe event, and that you're supporting not only these local guys, but you're supporting the school.
LA people, we got to stick together, especially right now. It's very, very important.
A large part of LA's economic recovery will depend on the survival of our small businesses. And while there are tons of different resources out there to help mom and pop businesses stay afloat, the challenge of letting folks know about that help is an ongoing task. So we spoke to John L. Reamer Jr. at the Department of Public Works. He was kind enough to give us a refresher on the Accessing LA program.
The Board of Public Works has had a long-standing commitment to businesses, specifically small businesses in the LA region. And we recognize that many of them shared with us they had no knowledge regarding what it took to gain access to contracts in the city of LA.
So this effort of Accessing LA is so critically important to making Los Angeles what it ought to be in terms of outreach to the various contracting opportunities that we provide as a city.
Accessing LA, which we created over 5 years ago, was our effort to open the door of opportunity, providing information to our small businesses. We coined the phrase, and we have 3 elements of Accessing LA: build with, team with, and rise with. Build With is the event that we will be having next month in celebration in conjunction with African American Heritage Month, focused on construction-related work and the construction industry, and creating that opportunity for businesses to come and meet and share and learn and know and grow.
Non-COVID activity for Accessing LA is so dynamic because it increases the opportunity for small businesses and emerging businesses, and oftentimes many individuals from throughout the city, from our various ethnic communities, it increases their opportunity to get hired.
And you get to see and feel the passion and the hunger for these small businesses. They really want to succeed. Many of these contracts are ours being the city of LA, but they don't stop there. I mean, this is a doorway that provides the small business, that minority, that local, that emerging business, that women-owned business, an opportunity to have a professional relationship that in many instances extends well beyond the contract with the city of LA.
The City of LA has been working overtime to shift the resources and accessibility to the virtual stage. Are you ready for one more? Great, because Rigo Saborio from Los Angeles Department of Aging zoomed by to share info on California's Master Plan for Aging.
So the Master Plan for Aging came about through an executive order from Governor Newsom, where he was very intentional about thinking about how to best prepare and serve an older adult community over the next 10 years. To be able to age successfully, you can't just address one issue alone. So that's why the Master Plan for Aging called for 5 bold areas in terms of recommendations. When you think about Los Angeles and where we can have the most impact, certainly the cost of living and affordable housing is a huge issue. The executive order called for the establishing of a advisory council comprised of diversity of perspective, people who have an interest or are working directly with older adults from various sectors came together to form this advisory council. It's a very well-rounded, diverse group of individuals that came together to develop the Master Plan for Aging, and I was honored to be invited to be part of that group. How we can move from plans to execution. It's going to take a village.
African American Heritage Month is upon us, and festivities have been greenlit despite the ongoing pandemic. Leah Price with the Library Foundation of Los Angeles talked to us about the Lift Every Voice event happening virtually this year because of COVID.
Lift Every Voice came about a few years ago. It's a nationwide celebration of the tradition of African American poetry. It's having events all throughout the country, from New York to Chicago, and of course here in Los Angeles. We have the honor of presenting it here and doing it through a Los Angeles lens. So many of the talent that's coming to this event are born and raised here.
I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins.
You can't hear this poetry and not think of all the voices that have come before. And even the title, Lift Every Voice, thinks about that quality, that every voice is important. It's not just one voice, it's many voices. I'm tired of work. I'm tired of building up somebody else's civilization.
This is the urgency. Live and have your blooming in the noise of the whirlwind.
Normally, we would actually be right here in the Mark Taper having an event like this. Because of quarantine and the situation with COVID, we've had to pivot to a virtual medium and have programs online, but it's wonderful because we can reach a lot more people that way. And so the point of us doing programs is to bring people in, show diverse voices, and remind people that the library is more than just checking out books.
Thank you all. Thanks for listening. Thank you.
For our feature story this week, we put the focus on just how engaged Angelinos are about the environment. We here in SoCal are so serious about preservation and sustainability that we now have a city officer in charge of our trees. Newly appointed Rachel Mallarich talks to us about her role as the first city forest officer for LA. Check it out.
I am the city's first city forest officer, and I feel super honored to be in this role. It really is phenomenal. This has been a dream of arborists and urban foresters in the area since the 1990s at the minimum. There was a task force in 1996 that said, we need an urban forestry coordinator to help coordinate across the multiple departments in the city. I taught for 2 years earth science and math in Southgate, and was looking for the next move in my career, and had an opportunity to work for Tree People, serving this very community, Wilmington, San Pedro, Harbor City, the South Bay area, which a recent study at that time had shown had less tree canopy cover than other parts of the city. We look at site conditions. In a neighborhood, we start with, where does the community want trees? Beyond a need on a, human health level or infrastructure level, we want to start with the community. Where do they want to see trees? What are the pathways they use most often and wish were shaded? There actually historically weren't a lot of trees in Los Angeles. It was mostly along riparian areas like the LA River and its tributaries, or in our hillside areas where trees historically occurred in Los Angeles. But we use trees as a tool to mitigate some of our urban issues, like poor air quality or urban heat in the San Fernando Valley or downtown LA areas. In our urban environment, in our public right-of-way space particularly, it's a complex space. There's a lot of different competing uses that are all really important to our neighborhoods. Obviously, we need electricity, we need our sewer system to work, but we also want to have shade. And so that's one of the things I'm excited about in this role, is getting to coordinate with all those various departments and communicate with them and make sure that we can maximize tree canopy while allowing for all the other uses on the site. Obviously, we're focused on accomplishing the goals in the Mayor's Green New Deal in terms of, particularly, there's a number of policy priorities within the Green New Deal, but one of the goals that we're really focused on is increasing tree canopy in areas of greatest need by 50% by 2028. I want to be bold. I want us to be moving forward to help deal with the impacts of climate change in our neighborhoods through tree planting, through strategic planning. But undoubtedly, those who came before us, they did what they thought was best at that time, and we're going to similarly just do our best.
Enjoy the African American experience, the American Mosaic. LA playwrights encourage writing for a changing world. Or log in for the LA Animal Services Wildlife Zoom. All this and more up next on Virtual Things to Do.
Celebrate African American Heritage Month with the Los Angeles Central Library as they present the African American Experience, the American Mosaic. This electronic resource features up to 1,000 biographies that spotlight the extraordinary contributions of individuals like Muhammad Ali, Barack Obama, Oprah Winfrey, and W.E.B. Du Bois. Set to enrich your understanding and knowledge of African American history, this free and ongoing event through the month of February also showcases some awe-inspiring speeches, unforgettable quotes, and powerful images. Go online and check out the African American Experience, the American Mosaic, at lapl.org/African-experience. And for those teenagers curious about the remarkable efforts of African Americans, explore the free Zoom event, Online Black History Resources for Teens, on February 10th at 4 p.m. Center Theater Group invites you to attend their latest LA Theater Speaks panel on Friday, February 12th. LA Playwrights, Writing for a Changing World. This free online event brings together an all-star lineup of playwrights including Luis Alfaro, Bonnie B. Alvarez, Alicia Harris, and Becca Brunstetter to share their feelings and strategies as they strive to write for a changing world in the theater. For more information and to view Center Theater Group's extensive archive, visit centertheatergroup.org/digital stage. Your friends at LA Animal Services understand the risk that wildlife can have on your neighborhood, whether they are avoiding the flames of a fire or searching for a new habitat. Pet owners should be in the know of deterrents to keep themselves and their four-legged furry kids out of danger. LA Animal Services wants you to take part in their ongoing Wildlife Zoom webinar on Tuesdays, February 9th and 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. Connect with wildlife specialists that can share knowledge and offer you valuable tips to help you, your pets, and wildlife coexist. Every Tuesday at 3 p.m., the Sun Valley Branch Library has an online treat for you and your dog. Bark, Read to the Dogs is a free storytime and read aloud event for kids and their canine pals. Kids can practice reading or just hang out. For more information, please email ahow@lapl.org for access to the Zoom session. And that's a look at some virtual things to do.
That's it for this edition. I'm Natalia Bilbao. From all of us here at LA This Week, thank you so much for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org, and we're also on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. See you next time for more LA This Week.